Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. I'm Sadaf Ishfaq from Department of Physics. Today we are going to deliver next lecture, Chapter 12, Current Electricity. Before moving further, let we take a review of lecture 14. Previously we introduced current electricity, study current, drift velocity in conductors, electroencephalogram EEG. After listening to today's lecture, you would be able to understand Ohm's law, electrical resistance, factors upon which resistance depends, specific resistance, and vice versa. First of all, we come to Ohm's law. And in order to understand this, it is the most important basic law of electricity. It was first discovered by German scientist Georg Simon Ohm in 1826. It shows the relationship between three fundamental electrical quantities, that is, voltage V, current I, and resistance R in DC circuit. Okay. We are going to discuss Ohm's law, and Ohm's law, as I told you, it gives you a relationship between current, resistance and voltage. Ohm's law states that at constant temperature, the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference between the two ends of the conductor, and it is expressed as I is proportional to V, which is mathematically written as I is equal to V over R, where I is the current, V is the voltage, and R is the resistance. R is a constant of proportionality here, and it is called resistance of the conductor. The most basic quantity of electricities are voltage, current, and resistance. These are the basic quantities. Ohm's law shows a simple relationship between these three quantities. Okay. An electric current is a flow of electric charge. Electric charge flows when there is voltage present across a conductor. Definitely, it needs energy. Current needs energy to flow. Current is measured in amperes. So as I told you, current needs this voltage. Voltage is providing energy to charge. The electrical force or pressure that causes current to flow in a circuit, voltage is measured in volts. So, resistance. The electrical resistance of an electrical conductor is the opposition to the passage of an electric current through that conductor. Right? This is the resistance. Resistance is measured in ohms. Alright, let me consider here a conductor. Here is a conductor and it has some length, that is capital L, and this conductor permits charges to flow through it easily. So charges can move easily through all the conductors if provided voltage. Voltage is providing all the time energy to this moving charges, creating electric current. So, in that case, where resistance, current and voltage making a triangle, so the voltage forces the current to flow in the wire and resistance is the opposing factor to the flow of charges. Alright, we come to Ohm's law. Ohm's law is providing a relationship between I, V and R. The magnitude of the current in metals is proportional to the applied voltage as long as temperature is kept constant. This is giving you very important precaution for the Ohm's law. This is giving you the physical condition. Maintaining the physical condition. If physical condition of the system is kept constant like temperature, then I is proportional to V. Mathematically, it is given by this relation: I is equal to V over R, V is equal to I into R, where R is a constant known as resistance of the conducting material, and it depends upon the nature, dimension and physical state of the conductor. Alright. For a conductor that obeys Ohm's law, a graph of I as a function of voltage V is a straight line passing through the origin. You can see here, this is a graph for a conductor that is a metal. So IV graph is a straight line. Providing the physical state of the system, it remains constant. We get a straight line. And we all know the slope of the graph. The slope of the graph is giving you resistance. Okay, as we all know, the slope of the graph is given by tangent theta. If we say that this angle here lies theta, so y coordinate over x coordinate is giving you the slope of the graph. So tangent theta, which is equal to 1 over v, it is equal to 1 over r. As r is a constant, the slope is constant for ohmic conductors. What are ohmic conductors? Those conductors which obeys Ohm's law are known as ohmic conductors. Their graph is always a straight line, as shown here. The Ohm's law is not valid for all conducting materials. Those materials for which the slope of I versus V graph is not constant are called non-ohmic materials. Examples of non-ohmic materials, like filament bulb. You can see here IV graph for a filament lamp. The IV graph for a filament bulb shows that graph bends as V and I increases. So you can see here in the graph that there is a bending. It is not a straight line. So I is changing with V. It is increasing as V increases, but not at constant rate. That's why instead of observing a straight line, a curved line comes, as shown in the given figure. This shows that the curve of the line shows that at every point on it, there is a change in the resistance and the slope decreases with the increase of voltage. Now, the IV graph for thermistor bends upward shows that resistance decreases sharply as their temperature rises, as shown in this graph. You can see, unlike filament bulb, the graph, it bends upward direction, which shows a sharp decrease as their temperature rises. Alright. The IV graph of a semiconductor, that is a diode, a semiconductor diode, IV curve is shown, and which shows also not a linear graph as over here. The graph is not a straight line, it is also a curved line. The current passes when the voltage is applied in one direction, but it is most zero when it acts in the opposite direction. This shows the opposite direction of I and V. Here is a solved example, example 12.2. The high voltage in a TV receiver is 17 kilovolts. The maximum allowable current is 150 microampere. What is the least permissible value of load resistance? First of all, we come to data given. In the data given, we have voltage. Voltage is equal to 17 kilovolt. Kilo stands for 10 raised to the power 3. So here what we write, 17 into 10 raised to the power 3 volts. Alright. Now what is I? I is 150 microampere. That is 150 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 ampere. And what is required? We have to find the load resistance, that is R. Solution. Formula we are going to use here. Definitely Ohm's law, because the data shows the three electrical quantities V, I and R. So definitely we have to use V is equal to IR. R is equal to V by I. Putting the value of V and I here, what we get? R is equal to 113.3 into 10 raised to the power 6 ohms. This is the symbol for electrical resistance. It is read as ohms. All right, we come to electrical resistance. Resistance is the opposition offered by the substance to the flow of free electrons. This opposition occurs when atoms and molecules of the substance obstruct the flow of these electrons. Certain substances like metals such as silver, copper, aluminum, etc. offer very little opposition to the flow of electric current. That's why these are the good conductors of electricity. Resistance is the electric friction offered by the substance and causes production of heat with the flow of electric current, just like in mechanics. When we deal with the force of friction, friction produces heat. Similarly here, the electric friction, that is the resistance. When resistance, it hinders the motion of charges, then the energy is lost in the form of heat. The moving electrons collide with atoms or molecules of the substance. Each collision results in the liberation of minute quantity of heat. The SI unit of resistance is ohm and is represented by the symbol omega. How it is read? It is read as omega. That's why whenever we use any electric device in our kitchen, juicer, grinder, ceiling fans, after some time, after they are working, when we touch them, we feel it is hot. What is the source? The source is resistance, that is electrical friction. The resistance of wire is to be 1 ohm if a potential difference of 1 volt across its end causes 1 ampere current to flow through it. That is 1 ohm is equal to 1 volt over 1 ampere. Electrical resistance. Current flowing through a conductor always encounters some obstruction. So these are the moving charges, energy given to the charges, and this is electric current, and this is the resistance. This obstruction or hindrance to the flow of charge is called electrical resistance. Random motion of electrons in absence of electric current. You can see all the charges are moving, electrons, protons are moving in random direction. This is a metallic wire, and inside it there are number of charged particles. What happens when the two ends of the conductor is connected to the terminals of the battery? So this gives you an order. In order to the motion of charges, charges are moving from this side to this side in a smooth way. Electrons are moving in this direction, that is from negative to positive. Random motion of electrons in the absence of flow of current, and now this gives you a directional flow of electrons. So this gives you the direction in which the electrons are flowing. IVR is giving you a relation between these three fundamental quantities. V is the voltage. V is the voltage. It is measured in volts. 1 volt is equal to 1 joule over coulomb, right? Current, it is measured in amperes, and it is a rate of flow of charge, and 1 ampere is equal to 1 coulomb per second. While what is resistance? Resistance is measured in ohms. Resistance R is equal to potential difference across the Y, providing V, over current flowing in the Y. So this gives you a relation between the three quantities, and in this way we define electrical resistance, and according to Ohm's law, resistance is given by this relation. So this is giving you the symbol for resistance. Resistances may be measured, it may be used in two type of combination. It may be connected in series combination like this, R1, R2, R3. Here you notice that how these three are connected in series combination, connected with the battery terminals, and resistance could be connected in parallel combination and finally connected with the terminals of the battery. So in this way we find the equivalent resistance, that is the single resistance whose effect is the same as the combined effect of all the resistors which are added. So in this way, in this circuit, we notice that whenever we we insert in the circuit this R, that is a resistance, and current I is passing and V is the voltage, then we come to this electric circuit, and in this case R is measured in ohms because the unit of electrical resistance is ohm and it is written as volt per coulomb. Okay, 1 ohm, it's equal to 1 volt over 1 ampere. This is the way how we define for 1 ohm. Alright, we come to the factors upon which resistance depends. The total resistance of a wire is directly proportional to its length. It means R is directly proportional to L. What does it mean? Greater the length of a conducting wire, it offers more resistance. Let it be equation number 1. And R is inversely proportional to the cross-sectional area of the wire. That is, R is inversely proportional to the area. What does it mean? Area of a wire is equal to pi r square. Where what is R? R is the radius. It means area depends upon the diameter of the wire. So it means there is an inverse relation between the diameter and resistance of the conducting wire. Therefore, thicker wire have less resistance, because thicker wires means diameter is more, it offers less resistance and will cause less energy to be lost as heat. Depends upon the nature of the material. The resistance depends upon the nature of the material, and it is directly proportional to the temperature. More is the temperature, then more would be the resistance. Alright. Combining equations 1 and 2, keeping the temperature constant, the resistance of a conductor is given by this relation, that is R is directly proportional to L over A, where what is R? Electrical resistance, what is L? Length of the conducting wire, and what is A? A is the cross-sectional area of the wire. So definitely the above one is not an equation. In order to convert it into an equation, we have to add a constant of proportionality, and here this symbol rho stands for the constant of proportionality, right? And this constant, that is rho, it is known as resistivity or specific resistance of the material. Okay, in order to understand all this, let we have an activity. In the given activity, you can see we are having here some electrical components. That is, here is giving you a conducting wire of some length L, and here is an ammeter measuring the current, and this is giving you the switch. And we are going to discuss here what are the factors on which the current I or the resistance R it depends upon. So after introducing these electrical components, that is the battery, that is a milliampere and a milliammeter and a resistor plug key, we make an activity. Let me say initially current through a nichrome wire. Here is the conductor you are using is a nichrome wire of length L, and when we use such length, then what is the current? Current is measured as 18 milliamperes. Alright, what happens? We Just make a change. Current through a nichrome wire 2L, we increase the length. So when we increase the length, decreasing the current. The current decreases to 9 milliamperes. Alright. So what does it mean? That by changing the length, there is an effect on the current because of this resistance. Alright. One more thing. Current through a nichrome wire having 2D diameter. It means if we are using a thicker wire as a conductor, then what happens? The current increases to 36 milliamperes. So in all these activities, we observe one thing, that the resistance is depending on the length of the wire, and it depends upon the diameter or the thickness of the wire. So L and D are the factors which could affect the resistance of the wire. Alright, and here we notice that resistance depends on the material, length and diameter of the resistor. It is directly proportional to length and inversely proportional to the diameter of the wire. Alright, specific resistance or resistivity. Here we are having a table. In the table, in this column, different metals, silver, copper, gold, aluminum, rhodium, iridium, ruthenium, and all this, electrical resistivity. And what is the range? What is the order? 10 raised to the power minus 6. And in this way, for silver, for copper, gold, and finally for the platinum, different values of specific resistances are given. And here we notice one thing, that the unit of specific resistance or resistivity is also given, that is ohms into centimeter. It may be ohms into meter. So as we are having this formula, R is equal to rho L over A, okay, and if we put here L is equal to 1 meter, A is equal to 1 meter square, then what will happen? R is equal to rho. It means electrical resistance is equal to resistivity or specific resistance. Hence, specific resistance of a material is the resistance offered by 1 meter length of wire of a material having area cross-section of 1 meter square. The unit of resistivity is ohms into meter. You can derive the unit of resistivity from this formula, eliminating for rho. Rho would be equal to RA over L. Putting the units of R, L and A, we get here ohms into meter. You can solve it. Okay. The resistivity of a substance varies over a wide range. Resistivity of different metals is shown in the table as we discussed earlier. The resistivity of metals and alloys is very small because these are good conductors of electricity. So these materials are good conductors of electric current. The resistivity of insulators is extremely large. So these materials hardly conduct any current. An intermediate class of materials called semiconductors have resistivity between conductors and insulators. Here we have a comparison between resistivity and resistance. There may be a question, differentiate between resistance and resistivity. You have to attempt like this. Make a column like this. On one side, write down the properties of resistivity and on the other, resistance. Number one, resistivity. The resistivity of a material is the resistance of a wire of that material of unit length and unit cross-sectional area, while resistance is the opposition to the flow of electric current in a substance. Number two, it is an intrinsic property. It depends upon the nature. While resistance, it is an extrinsic property. The resistivity of a conductor is always same and is independent of its length or size, while the resistance of a conductor is dependent on its length or size. The unit of resistivity is ohms into meter. The unit of In the end, I quote a famous quotation of Isaac Newton: I can calculate the motion of heavenly bodies, but not the madness of people. Thank you.